Well, there's a lot of superstars up on stage tonight, and I'm sure Rabbi will introduce you to them. But if you guys could give me a little drum roll on your tables, please. I proudly give a round of applause for Rabbi Lazar and the Jews who do the blues with Deanna Bogart.
Indeed, shalom, shalom וברכה, דיאנה.
שלום.
לכל החברים, אנחנו עושים את הערב הזה בעברית. Jews to the blues, we're going to do this in Hebrew, is that all right? Well, we were supposed to have a little bit more Hebrew. Unfortunately, the program changed last minute. This has been, a week of program changes. Programs on the stage, programs of life. Our daughter Gabi is not well. Our friend Rabbi Andrew is not feeling so well. So we're going to do it without them there. We're going to bring a little bit more Hebrew to the stage this evening. But I am going to do something in Hebrew, and that's because today was a difficult day.
Love you, Rabbi.
Our friend, Diana Zaba, father and patron of the family here sitting in front, Sid Jack Rubenstein, passed away and was laid to rest. And yet here we are playing music. Because after all, it is the blues. Deanna, what's your definition of the blues?
Dad, he would, when I moved here 10 years ago, and to be there with my dad, and he loved to come to all the gigs, and he was trying to be the roadie and the crew. You know? And amazing. And Rabbi was there this morning today for my dad, for our dad. And thank you. I will love you, and slip away. I will love you, I'll love you, let you slip away, slip away.
Many of you don't know that song Slip Away is used maybe around the country, but certainly here in the Coachella Valley, Southern California. People use that song at funerals, and that's what Deanna sang at the end of her beautiful eulogy this morning. We also said a prayer that I'd like to recite, maybe not what people expect at a concert, but if we're anything as Jews, and certainly in our congregation, Or HaMidbar, we adapt, we ad-lib, and we don't do things in the box. Male rachamim, shochet b'amromim, hamsei menucha tachat kanfei hashchina, במעלות קדושים וטהורים כזוהר הנקי המאזירים את נשמת שלמה יעקב בן משה ומרים שהלך לעולמו בגן עדן תהא מנוחתו. אנא בעל הרחמים אז תראו בסדק נפך לעולמים וצרור מצרור חיים לנשמתו אדוני הוא נחלתו וינוח בשלום המשכבו ונאמר bring with you, close to you, embrace him, our friend, Sid, who has gone to the eternal life. May he be part of all those souls in heaven who hang out together, who listen to blues together, who sit down and look upon his family with nachas. May God give him a rest, an eternal rest, a lasting rest in peace. And let us say, Amen. So yes, Deanna did want to go on and do the show. You know, in the laws and the customs of mourning in the Jewish tradition, some people think it's really strict, and it's really quite rigid. But the fact is, in the history of this literature of mourning, the customs of mourning, it's probably the most flexible part of halakha, of Jewish law that we have. There are some guidelines, but people do what they do because they're seeking comfort in a time of need, in a time of grief. And for Deanna, and for all of us up here on stage, and for the family here, this is the Shiva. This is the Avelut. This is the mourning. And don't we know that we've learned from the African American culture of this nation that the way you mourn, the way you put into words some of the suffering is through the blues. For many years now, I've had a friend and a colleague, since rabbinical school in fact, Rabbi Sam Feldman. He's joined us every year at Jews Do the Blues. And I would say that for me the most important role that Sam plays in the world, aside from being a lawyer, being a rabbi, being a Talmud scholar, is that he's the leader of the band called Lei Rokin Rabbis. It plays only 3 or 4 times, every 3 or 4 years, and only in Paris. Every decade sometimes. We're actually getting together this year in Paris for a Hanukkah concert. If you want more details, ask him. In any case, Rabbi Sam Feldman.
Thank you. Now, when we were putting this together, we were talking about connections between Jews and the blues, but really the connection is right there. I remember I was doing gigs, and I was playing gigs, and I was playing a gig in the synagogue, and I had my slide there, and somebody walked up to me and said, "Rabbi, that is the coolest looking mezuzah I have ever seen in my life." I said, "It must be Jews doing the blues. If anybody in this room knows both what a slide is and what a mezuzah is. So we're doing this because in honor of, I wanted to do something from the Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf, Willie Dixon, Chess Records, because that was really the start of such an important part of the blues coming not only to America, it really first went to England because they were considered, of course, racial issues, race records. And that's famous because all the stories of the early British bands were all in England because they were trading chess records. Like Keith saw Mick. If you don't know who I'm talking about, ask your parents. Keith saw Mick on the train station with Muddy Waters.
Ask their kids.
No, ask their parents because that's the Rolling Stones from
No, they have to ask their kids.
Oh, they have, okay, what, you see? 2 Jews, 6 opinions. There we go. That's the blues. Anyway, I love this song. This is really good for the holidays because as much as we have this notion of being written and inscribed into the book of life, we are a culture that we don't really have superstitions, and this is a classic song, not the Stevie Wonder, I ain't superstitious, or my favorite, as Michael Scott would say, I'm not superstitious, but I'm a little stitious. But I'm just going to start.
Yeah, jump on in. We'll catch you.
But a black cat done crossed my path. Well, I ain't superstitious, but a black cat done crossed my path. It ain't no good for me, people. I'll have to spend the night in jail. When the dogs begin to howl all over my neighborhood. Dogs are howling all over my neighborhood. The sure sign the devil's on his way. We ain't up to no good. Rivers are place for fun. Crossed the ladder today. I said I ain't superstitious, but I got myself on the ladder today. And I walked around the corner, cause there's a round the other way. begin to howl all over my neighborhood. When the dogs begin to howl all over my neighborhood. There's a sure sign the devil's on his way. You know it ain't no good. Oh, yes, I am. Someday when I ain't superstitious, when a black cat cross my trail. So I ain't superstitious, but a black cat done cross my trail. There's a sure sign the world about spending the night in jail.
Long ago, when I was young, every day was done. My dreams would take me so far away. I dream of love, wealth, fame, hope, hair, and they all knew my name. But still, I have that dream today. Everyone at home, but could you hold your love? Good mood, you're so unkind. Take what's yours, leave what's mine. I work so hard, night and day. It's price to pay. Sometimes the moods get in my way. You want to buy Bob Hamilton and play. Want to do it again? Should we do it again? Verse on this.
It's not peer pressure, it's just your turn.
Another Jew from the San Fernando Valley populace. You see him around town. So it could be said that at least some of us up on stage are Jews doing the blues, but there have been a lot of Jews doing blues over the years, certainly for the last 100 years, even more. And we want to profile some of them this evening. I'd like to do it a little bit different way we haven't done before. You see the screens over here? The two screens up there? We're going to start by showing you something that actually connects to a very special occasion we have here this evening. But are we ready to roll the... Please go ahead and roll it. We'll talk about it afterwards.
I for president, I for president, I for president, I for president. You like that, I like that. Everybody likes I for president. I got the banner, beat the drum. We take back to Washington. We don't want John or Harry to that great job right. That scary step with the guy that's step. Yeah, it's step with five. You like that, I like that. Everybody likes I for president. I got the banner, beat the drum. We'll take back to Washington. We got to get where we are going. All day and night for president. Never make no the other way. We all go with I. You like that, I like that. Everybody likes I for president. Hang up the banner, keep the drum. We'll take back to Washington. We'll take back to Washington.
Now is the time for all good Americans to come to the aid of their country.
And no, we're not being political. We're a 501c3 religious institution. We don't do politics, at least in that way we don't do politics. But does anybody know who wrote that theme song, that jingle? Anybody? His Hebrew name is Yisrael Beilin, otherwise known as Irving Berlin. I kid you not, that is the fruit of his pen. Irving Berlin. Oive, you say? Oive, sorry, Oive. Okay. Oiving Berlin. And in just a moment we're going to do what is my favorite song of Irving Berlin. But before that, though, there's another connection of this campaign for Dwight Eisenhower for president. And I don't think anybody knows, but Harley grew up in Denver, around the corner from, what was her name, Mrs. Dwight? Mamie. And Harley's family everybody knew of Mamie. So they were in favor of Eisenhower, regardless of Republican, Democrat. It was different in those days anyway, wasn't it? And why is it important that Harley knows? Because today, ladies and gentlemen, is Harley's 80th birthday. Harley. so great to see you. We're so happy that you guys.
We're singing happy birthday. Y'all singing? Yeah. Happy
Birthday to you.
went with that.
Okay, well, for those that if you don't know Harley, make sure you see him afterwards and buy him a drink. Carol can drive home. But you gotta know, Carol and Harley, they volunteer all around town at the museum and the Jewish Family Service. They're just all around town, and wherever Harley walks into the room, people smile. And whatever weather is happening in this desert of ours, the sky is always blue when Harley walks into the room. So this song, my friend, my beloved friend, is devoted to you. It's in honor of you on your 80th birthday, dude. 80. I love it.
Smiling at me, nothing but blue sky. Do I see bluebirds singing a song? Nothing but bluebirds all night long. It's good to be. Never saw the sun shining so bright. Never saw things going so right. Don't you see the waves hurrying by when you're in love? My mind will fly. Oh, blue days all day long, yeah. Nothing but blue skies from now on. Who wants it? Check it out. Oh, blue sky, blue sky. Play that soundtrack.
So from Yisrael Balin, Oivin, we go from Yisrael to Yaakov, or Yankiv, or Yankel, Yankelet. Everybody know who Yaakov is? His English name was George. George Gershwin. Around the same time, and George Gershwin was probably really broke into the world of music more than all the other Jewish boys who got into the profession. Really went far. American in Paris. For us this evening, we want to go back to a song that for me was the first tune I ever learned how to play. That wasn't the music from school band in 8th grade and 9th grade, but Summertime from Porgy and Bess.
needed that one. Let's play it again.
So we had these, oh, there she is. I said to her beforehand, none of that tush business, this is a memory of your father, but of course Sid loved that. That was Sid's favorite part. When you tushed the keyboard.
I practiced that stuff.
Listen, folks, I know there's some people here that don't know us well. You may be thinking to yourselves, we're not terribly respectful. Really, we are. This is the way, no, this is the way that we do kavod. We do respect to Sid's memory. This is the way we do kavod. We do respect to Gershwin, to Berlin. And there's a lesser-known guy whose name is also Yisrael. All these guys were born with Jewish names. And they all kind of wanted to make it in the world and change their names. This one changed his name to Yip. Yip, you know who Yip is? Yip Harburg? No? Deanna, you have actually some, you all right? You have some experience with Yip's family.
Oh, that's Yip Harburg, right?
So tell us a little bit about your interaction with his daughter.
Okay, yeah, we were one of my records, and you know when you're doing your original tunes and all that, and then every now and then you want to cover another song that you wrote somebody else's. Anyway, and the song that nobody wants to. Oh, don't do this one, which would be over the rainbow, somewhere over the rainbow, because there's like 622,005 versions of it, of all kinds, and it's great. It's great, right? Anyway, I was doing my record, and I got a little bit verklempt during the record. I can say verklempt right here, and so everybody left, and things were going on with family. Actually, it was with the girls, as you know, my sister. And so I told everybody, just go away. And I just started playing Over the Rainbow, which is also a favorite of her daughter, my nieces. And so I just kind of went into it because I think of the song very differently than, even though I love it, you know, with Wizard of Oz and all that. I feel it very deep and it's kind of sad and hoping kind of a way. So I did that, just playing it while I would send everybody away, and I'm playing, and I finally felt like, okay, I'm good. Come on, everybody, go back and record. And then the lights went on in the studio, and they said, oh, we're putting it on the record. And they took it on there, and I said, no, we can't do that. And they said, yeah, we're doing it. And so I did it on the record, and when the reviews came over, people were saying the last thing that she should have done is Over the Rainbow, till they heard it. And then one of the critics, or one of the reviews, came back and said, thank you, somebody that actually knows what that's about. And I said, what do you mean? And he goes, didn't you know? And I said, no. He told me all about him, Yip Harburg.
Political activist.
And it was a political activist in the 30s. And that was written about children labor in the 30s and working. And then it was taken out of the movie, and the new director put it back in. Anyway, I always felt it different for some reason. And so he sent it to his daughter and then granddaughter, and then they sent me a letter about that it sounded like what it was, what he meant in the 30s. And I didn't know that, and then I got his book, and it's all amazing what he did.
Yip was a tzaddik. He was a righteous man who fought for justice, although he didn't like religion in the least bit. Not so sure how happy he'd be about this, a shul doing a song in his honor. But now he and Oyvind were good friends. They grew up together in the same high school, and Irving Berlin ended his life at a very young age in Yip's house. Yip took care of him. Very poetic, very lovely kind of a story. But this is that now famous rendition. Diana Bogart, ladies and gentlemen.
It's our dad's favorite song, and sometime in in the gig. You know, to play my song, we play Over the Rainbow. I don't know. You guys want to come up and help me? No? I know. I'll try. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land bluebirds fly, birds can fly over the rainbow. Then why can I? Why can happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, then why, oh, why can't I? Something like that. Thank you, guys.
1, 2. All right, so we're going to do something now. We're trying to think of different things, and as I said, connections of blues with the Jews and the blues. And I was going to say this is later than that, but actually it goes all the way back. We can't do it without doing a gospel song. And you see that the rounds of how everything works. Everybody influences everybody else, because we can't really say gospel doesn't in some way come from a Jewish tradition as well. And what we're going to be singing about is definitely a Jewish theme, Nobody's Fault But Mine. And we walk around thinking that as we go into the holidays. You paid a lot of money to not hear a sermon tonight, so I won't give you one. But it's a great message for the holidays, because it's nobody's fault but mine. When I was introduced to this song, it was from an artist who's really known back east that I don't think there's known here, named David Bromberg. And he really taught me, not personally, how to play slide. And this was one of the first songs. And if you ever have a chance, get his version. There's 1,000 versions, or the earliest version, or another version that's great is Nina Simone does Nobody's Fault. Just Nina Simone and a piano, and not unlike, love to hear Deanna do it sometime. But we've never done this before. They don't know what I'm about to do. But you're going to help me out. Once you learn the chorus, you've got to help me sing. So don't think during the holidays it's nobody's fault but yours. There's plenty of other people at fault. Keep it steady, please. Nobody's fault but mine. Nobody's fault but mine. But if I die, my soul gets lost, it's nobody's fault but mine. Can you do that with me once? Everybody. Nobody's fault but mine. I want to hear you now. Nobody's fault but mine. Oh, well, if I die and my soul gets lost, it's nobody's fault but mine. Give me some band. I got the Bible in my heart. Well, I got the Bible in my heart. If I don't read it and my soul gets lost, it's nobody's fault but mine. Everybody, come on. Nobody's fault but mine. Well, nobody's fault but mine. If I die and my soul gets lost, it's nobody's fault but mine. Rabbi David Lazar. Bring it down, bring it down. Here we got another one. My mother taught me how to pray. I said, my mother taught me how to pray. If I don't do it, it's nobody's fault but mine. Nobody's fault but mine. Nobody's fault but mine. And my soul gets lost, it's nobody's fault but mine. Everybody clap it out for me. Everybody. Nobody's fault but mine. Nobody's fault but mine. If I die and my soul gets lost, it's nobody's fault but Thank you. I'm going to do this. We haven't done this in years. We've done it so many times. Another great theme for the holidays. I hope Rep. Duffy doesn't mind if I do this one. It's 1, 4, and 5. A long time on the one. Okay, we're going to try this. This is great also. This is This is by a Jewish artist. We're going to do another of his songs later. But this is a real blues song, only it's from his Christian phase. But there's no such thing as a Christian phase for Dylan. This was my problem when I went to rabbinical school, and I kept complaining that Jews just don't bring the funk. That's the biggest problem. There's nothing funky about my class. That's why I love playing with these guys. Sorry, I gotta listen. You might be ambassador to England or France. You might like to gamble and you might like to dance. You might be the heavyweight champion of the world. You might be a socialite with a long string of pearls, but you're gonna have to serve somebody. Yes, you're gonna have to serve somebody. Serve somebody. Well, it might be the devil, or it might be the Lord, but you're gonna have to serve somebody. You might drink cotton, you might like to wear silk, you might like to drink whiskey, you might like to drink milk. You may like to eat bread, might be sleeping on the floor, honey, sleeping on the kids. Everybody, come on, we're gonna have to serve somebody. Serve somebody. They're gonna have to serve somebody. Serve somebody. Well, it might be the devil, or it might be the Lord, but you're gonna have to serve somebody. Yeah. Just some bass and drums. Bob and Jeff, give it up for Bob and Jeff over here. Because what you don't know is that every guitarist has bass on it. All right, I'm gonna do a little conversation with Bob over here. We can see each other, we can at least hear each other. Preaching spiritual pride. You might be a congressman taking bribes all the time. Thank you for letting me do that.
Thank you, Rabbi Sam. Thank you. Okay, so everyone, we've got 2 more numbers we'd like to do. Your choice.
This weary old track is leading me back aboard long old dream in the rain. In the rain, the rain.
talk a lot, perhaps too much. For sure, Deanna does her talent. These guys are so kind. You know what I need to do? Don't listen to me when I'm speaking.
Yes, yes, yes. We will.
And these guys
Talking about you and saying
these
hi
guys
to
are
you.
so kind to allow me, the schlepper that I am, when it comes to musical instruments to play. And always I've been playing sax, alto sax, sometimes tenor. But I took out the clarinet for this gig, and the main reason for that was because Rita Claire's husband, Bill, left us just 2 months ago. And actually gifted me his clarinet. So the clarinet is in his memory, and it's an honor. And the last song that we're going to do is we go back to the guy that wrote the blues for so many of us before we even knew what the blues were. At least in my generation, your generation. And it's Bob Dylan. כמה שנים נצטרך עוד לעבוד, איך לחיות, וכמה נמשיך לחכות לשלום, עם זית ושתי חרבות, וכמה עצים ירוקים ישרפו, בגלל מלחמות וחוות. אין לי תשובות בכל התקוות, הלכו להם בכל הרוחות.
Just how many roads must a man walk down before you can call him a man? Yes, and how many seas must a white dove sail before she sleeps in the sand? Yes, and how many times must the cannonballs fly before they're forever banned? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind.
המאזניים צריך בן אדם לשמוע אחד צועק. כמה נמשיך לסובב את הפנים לפני שנביט ונראה. כן, כמה שנים נהיה פה סגורים לפני שלחופש נצא. אין לי תשובות לכל הציבור, הלכו להם לכל הרוחות.
Yes, and how many years must a mountain exist before it is washed to the sands? Yes, and how many years can some people exist before they're allowed to be free? Yes, and how many times can a man turn his head and pretend he just doesn't see? The answer, my friends, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. before he can see the sky. Yes, and how many ears must one man have before he can hear people cry? Yes, and how many deaths will it take till he knows that too many people have died? The answer, my friends, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. The answer, my friends, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. The answer, my friends, blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing.
Thank you. That was translated by Yogi Aside from all of our sponsors and those of you that came this evening, who we obviously give thanks to, we want to thank Madalena Garzina for all the hard work she puts in every year. Beautiful program. If you didn't get a program, there's sponsors still. And Caitlin, Megan, and Adam, and the whole staff here, Ricardo and Jerry, and forgot the last name, the last person? The lights guy. Okay. Anyway, thank you very much. Thank you for being here. Shanato na. Shanato na. We're here for you.